how to hire a great bookkeeper. If you're in the market for hiring a bookkeeper, this presentation is for you. I'm going to show you how to avoid hiring an average bookkeeper, which leads to financial chaos, and hire instead a great bookkeeper, which is an absolute star player and asset to your team. We're going to really fly through this. I'm going to try and get this done within 15 minutes, starting right now, okay? And note that because we're kind of moving through this quickly, I'm going to gloss over some stuff, but you can, of course, watch the presentation again and read more of the fine print. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. So the problem, I'm assuming, is that you right now don't have a great bookkeeper, and maybe you can't even tell the difference between an average bookkeeper and a great bookkeeper. And because of that, you are at a huge risk right now, because if you bring the wrong person into your company, it's going to cause gigantic problems. It's going to cost you time, it's going to cost you money. It can even cost you your business, okay? So you could be with an average bookkeeper. I say average, but like there's either great and there's everything else. So average can cost you audits with the IRS, audits with lenders, whether through deliberate bad practices or through incompetence. You can experience embezzled funds, stolen funds, misappropriated funds. Usually it's more on the incompetence side, but I have also seen deliberate embezzlement by bad bookkeepers, okay? It can cost you tens of thousands of dollars trying to clean all this up, and it will absolutely cause extreme stress in your business and personal life. Even if nothing catastrophic goes wrong at the moment, it's going to cause you stress, and you're going to miss opportunities, you're going to make bad decisions, and ultimately it can lead to a failed business. So here's how I'm going to help you in our time here. I'm going to show you what an average bookkeeper looks like and some of those warning signs. I'm going to explain how a great bookkeeper is completely different than that, and I'm going to try and teach you some techniques so that you can avoid hiring an average bookkeeper and instead hire a great bookkeeper, okay? And if you want to stick around until after that, I will have a bonus for you, okay? So my name is Thomas. I'm a financial steward. I do bookkeeping. I do accounting. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Air Force. I have degrees from the University of Texas and the University of Pennsylvania. Second generation bookkeeper, and I own Bookkeeping Conroe. We're here in Conroe, Texas, serving clients all over the world. And I do bookkeeping, tax support, and CFO advisory, okay? And my clients are local. I have many local clients. I help them with their businesses. I form strong relationships with them. And I also have worked directly for QuickBooks, and I've served over 1,000 business owners and their bookkeepers and their accountants, helping them solve problems. And here are just a few of the 10 out of 10 reviews. The list goes on, but trust me, I've kind of seen it all, okay? So if you want to contact me, there's my contact info. It's thomas@bookkeepingconroe.com. But this is not about me, it's about you, okay? Let's not hire an average bookkeeper. Don't do this. Instead, you want to hire someone great, because an average bookkeeper creates financial chaos in your businesses. And like I said, I've sat with over 1,000 business owners, bookkeepers, accountants, and everything in between dealing with the finances of the company. And it's just terrible what these guys end up creating. Don't let it happen to you. Okay, here's some of the warning signs. If you already have this person in your business, then you probably wouldn't be watching this video, so I'm assuming that you don't, but you might have had them in the past, and you can resonate with what I'm about to tell you. The warning signs are that, in general, you sense something wrong. Also, forgive me that I'm talking so fast. I'm really trying to keep this to 15 minutes, okay? But you will sense something wrong with this person in the business, okay? You'll just know that if you go and look at the books, you cannot trust them. You can't trust your own financials. There's not someone with a high level of competence and professionalism in that role. They are at best average, okay? You're going to look at your reports and see major problems with the balance sheet, with the profit and loss. Your net income is going to be wrong. Income's going to be too high or too low. Same with expenses. You're going to be missing liability accounts or see liability accounts that should have been closed. Same with assets, and equity is going to be completely messed up. I can pretty much guarantee you that. But also, they have to be asked to fix all this stuff. So you're going to find it, then you're going to have to ask them to fix it because they messed it up in the beginning. And if they saw something that was not right, they didn't know how to identify it, and they didn't bring it to you. That's terrible, okay? They need to have a plan for problems. And you wouldn't bring them to a meeting with anyone that you needed the respect of, be it a lender or a CPA or a business partner or anything else, because you'd be afraid that they would expose that within your company you don't have strong financial competence. That's not good. Okay, here's some common indicators. They tend to do just enough. It's just a job to them. They don't self-train. They're not going to seminars. They don't have like a schedule of training, because if you hired them and you're their employer, then, well, really, you're technically responsible for their training. So also a good reason to not hire an employee and instead hire a contractor sometimes. And also, common indicator, they'll tend to resist new tools. You know, QuickBooks, for example, is constantly evolving, and there's all kinds of new tools coming out for different use cases, and they will try and avoid using these new tools. And they might also just have general low computer literacy. They're kind of slow on the keyboard, etc. They should improve that if they're going to be working with computers for their job, right? Limiting factors, they typically don't know a lot about accounting, believe it or not. This can even happen with folks with degrees. Accountants can graduate and they go to work for a big firm and they are put in a little part of that firm, accounts payable or something, using a proprietary accounting platform, and they spend 20 years there and get out, and you know what? They actually can't tell you how debits and credits work and know their way around different accounting ideas, right? Concepts. They're not an expert at the tools, right? They'll be a novice at the different platforms. I like to use QuickBooks Online, and I will let you know that it is a gigantic platform. Okay, it takes a long time to learn everything, and even pros are surprised often. Okay, it takes a lot of experience. They don't have enough experience in general in bookkeeping. Like I said, they might have been serving in a narrow role, and in general, they're just not professional in the way that they act, right? Just like I said, you probably wouldn't want to bring them into a meeting because they don't feel pro. Okay. The result is that you have financial chaos in your business. You're just never going to be able to pull accurate financials with confidence and make decisions. It's going to cost you time and money because eventually someone's going to have to go clean this up. More talks with the CPA, they often charge you for that. You might lose opportunities as well with lenders that would have lent you money, but you don't have the financials to show, and make your case. And also, of course, you're going to lose peace and focus. Back to the opportunities, you have to be able to make strong decisions, so you need the financials to do that. The result is that your business is on fire. It can be burned down completely. You can just smell smoke coming from the floorboards. I'm telling you, hiring an average bookkeeper is like playing with fire. If you haven't done it yet, that's what it's going to feel like, and if you've done it already, you already know this, okay? Cool, so what is a great bookkeeper? I don't know, this is from the movie Moneyball. Basically, Brad Pitt's character is the general manager, and he's trying to implement this innovative new way to manage a baseball team, but he was not able to do it until he brought on the numbers guy, Jonah Hill, who is his point man and could help out in these meetings and translate the math into action, right? So a great bookkeeper is a trusted financial steward that brings order to the chaos, okay? They're a financial steward, like I said, they're a point man, and they are an advisor. Great. Now the positive signs, here are some positive signs. You have a great bookkeeper. They bring order to the chaos very fast. Bookkeeping Conroe, I can typically do multi-year cleanup. 7 days is a long time. Usually it's 3 to 7 days, cleaning up years of mistakes from previous bookkeepers. And also, you'll just know when they walk into the room, hey, the adult, as far as the financials, has entered and we're going to get some clarity. They have excellent financial communication. They can break down complex financial subjects and accounting subjects and convey that in a way that is easy to understand and take action upon. They're always prepared. They're always proactive. They are a source of peace and focus in your life and in your business. Highly ethical and trustworthy. They understand that their whole business relies on them being the most trustworthy person because they're dealing with the financials, right? They're professional, they're dedicated to their craft. It's not just a job to them. They're always looking to get better. They are proactive and prepared, as I said, and they tend to end up being the owner's right hand, okay? The owner wants to bring them to everything that's going on. I've constantly being asked by my clients to help them and go to different things with them. But at any rate, another thing, they're solution-oriented, right? So problem is just something that we need to address right now. They don't whine about problems, and they pursue professional excellence, always attending seminars and training, looking to be the best, continually upskilling themselves, and they also have a love of numbers and finance. They enjoyed algebra. They might have enjoyed calculus. They enjoy puzzles a lot of times, that kind of thing. And the result is that your business is at lower risk. You have someone there monitoring and advising for the financials, having that financial stewardship. You're able to make more confident decisions. Your business is able to grow more sustainably, grow with greater confidence, sometimes more rapidly, because you're getting some information from the advisor about improving profitability. And you in general as a business owner are going to experience lower stress, and you're going to even be able to take time off because you have someone in place who's not going to let the thing burn down if something goes wrong, okay? So Iron Man, Tony Stark is the crazy business owner, and then he, of course, has his trusted steward of Pepper. And this is one of the business's most valuable assets, okay? Cool. Now, here's how you avoid hiring an average bookkeeper. Here are the tips, okay? Do not hire a family member or a friend. I cannot tell you how many sad calls I've had where the business owner and his wife, or the business owner and her husband, are on the call with me and their business has been completely destroyed due to the bad bookkeeping. They are spending so much money at the accountant's office, they've been audited, and now they're trying to get everything fixed. So their solution, because they hired the wrong person in the first place, is now to hire the wrong person again when things are even worse, which is throwing this poor spouse or cousin or whatever else, niece, nephew, whatever, or friend, into this mix. They have no idea what they're doing, and it's just terrible. It's going to strain relationships. It's not going to be good. Do not do that. Unless they are a pro bookkeeper with experience, then maybe, okay? And also that's even unlikely, I got to tell you, because there aren't that many great bookkeepers out there. So the likelihood that someone within your family is also a great bookkeeper is unlikely. They're probably going to be average because, that's the average, like statistics, right? Okay, cool. Do not hire a receptionist or admin / bookkeeper, okay? You can't would you want to go to the doctor and find out that he's also working the front desk? It would make no sense. This is someone who needs to know the financial infrastructure of your business. They are the doctor assessing your business from a financial standpoint. They need to have no other job. They need to be focused on this. And the kind of person that would have to serve as a receptionist is not going to be the same person that is also going to be the financial person and point man of the company. It doesn't go together. It's not a good idea. You think that you're just, I'm killing two birds with one stone. No, you're killing your own business is what's going to end up happening, okay? And do not hire without rigorously testing their accounting and knowledge of whatever platform, okay? Anyone can fill out a resume, anyone can tell you, but you need to ask them questions, which I'm going to give you some great interview questions here in a second. Don't let HR hire them. They're going to make the same mistake. They're going to look at the resume, hey, I did my job. Then you're going to think, oh, well, I did my job because I hired HR and they did their job. No, don't go to sleep with a burning house because you're kicking the bucket here. You need to talk to them. Okay, don't hire based solely on a resume. Don't hire without speaking to them because you're going to be speaking with them a lot and you need to test their communication ability. All right, so we're getting to the end here. Interview questions to ask. Here's some interview questions you can ask them. Explain to me the accounting equation and how it relates to bookkeeping. Okay, they need to be able to explain assets equal liabilities plus equity and explain how that translates to your business and what we're going to do. All right, you can also ask them, explain the transactions from estimate to paid invoice in terms of debits and credits. This is going to test their ability to move through a sequence of scenarios with debits and credits, because accounting at a fundamental level is something is debited, something is credited. This is double entry accounting, okay? They need to be an absolute expert. If you sense any hesitation, well, I guess they could think about it, but just make sure they understand they can do that, okay? And then you can also ask them, what are your favorite keyboard shortcuts and efficiency tools for whatever accounting program they're using? You might also ask them about third-party tools that they like, okay? And if they say, I don't use them, you've got a problem there because they're going to be slow. All right, more interview questions. What would you do if I purchased property and then fix it up and rent it out? This is a bit of a trick question because real estate is a special animal and there are IRS publications dedicated to situations like this. So their response should be more questions to you, okay? Because if they say something like, oh, well, I'll expense whatever we're spending to fix it up, those are expenses. No, actually, those are capitalized improvements to the property. It needs to be handled on the balance sheet. And then if the property is sold or rented out or whatever, then some stuff is going to translate to the profit and loss. So anyways, I'm just saying real estate is special and they should know that, right? They should know it's special at least. Okay, and then how would you handle payroll for me? I'm the owner because the business owes me money and the business pays me. This is also a bit of a trick question because there are more questions that should follow. What is your entity type? Are you an S-Corp? Are you literally an employee of the company? Are we running payroll on you? Are you just taking money out? If you're taking money out, how are you taking it out? You're taking it with just ATM withdrawals, or you're actually paying for stuff for the company with a personal credit card, and then the company is reimbursing you, all that kind of stuff, right? Then they should start talking to you about equity. They should start talking to you about draws and owner contributions, and there should be all these questions that follow, right? Okay, and another one, what will you do for vendor invoices, because sometimes we get credits for them? Actually, what you're trying to do is pose a question that almost doesn't make sense, right? This one, it kind of does make sense, but there's so many more questions that need to be asked, you know? Like, how are we purchasing from vendors? Are we purchasing them using purchase orders? Are we going to make that a billable expense to the customer that needs to show up on an invoice? How do we handle credits, et cetera, right? Okay, cool. Hey, we're at 15 minutes. So last slide, make sure that you invest in a long-term partnership. This financial steward is someone that can serve you and your friends and your family, because you're going to trust them so much that you can refer them out. And they need to be someone that can potentially stick with you for life. And there are financial advisors in my family that have been there for literally, we're at 4 generations now. My brother has young children, so I'm assuming that he's going to serve, that financial advisor will serve them as well. Okay, cool. So that's that, and that should give you some tools and some information so that you can hire well. Here's just a quick case study of one of my recent clients. This is Sam. He was a professional bull rider. He now owns multiple businesses, and he is looking to, amongst all the other things he does, launch a video series on Amazon Prime. There are millions of dollars involved in this, but his previous bookkeeper left him in a state of financial chaos. Okay, it was very bad. He had no guidance. His decisions were limited. And like many business owners, wearing every hat, managing multiple businesses, mixing business and personal, missing the documentation, the receipts, unprepared to report, go to the CPA, report to the IRS, file taxes. He was too busy and didn't have the skills to dive deeply into even figuring out what was wrong. He was making gut-feeling decisions, and they were wrong, and he was losing his time and focus, suffering in general from errors and anxiety that comes from the errors in the books. He was having stress about going to lenders and experiencing general emotional drain. He was concerned about the cash flow, which is the biggest killer of businesses in general, to get your cash flow wrong and make a mistake. Anxiety about going to the tax man, and he was at risk for growing because he didn't know if he was able to grow, right? And here I am, I'm there on the left, Sam is on the right, the video producer's in the middle there at his ranch with the bulls. And that was the turning point. Once I came in, we very rapidly fixed everything, and I helped him get his multiple businesses correct from a bookkeeping standpoint, began coordinating with the accountant, forming a relationship there, and soon we could issue financial statements. We even saved money by bringing multiple business QuickBooks files into one file. I explained the different ways that is possible, okay? And now he has a financial steward in his pocket, on speed dial, and anything that he needs solved from a financial or bookkeeping standpoint, I'm just a call away, right? All right, cool. Not a unique story. You probably, as a business owner, you're chasing big goals, while at the same time, if you don't have a great bookkeeper, you are operating in a financial fog. That's not good. You need to know what's going on. You need to make good decisions based on your financial data. You need to not be carrying unnecessary stress, and you need someone that you can trust in your corner, okay? And once you can get that, everything's going to be great. Do not let this be you, okay? Hire a great bookkeeper. Do not sit in a house that is burning down, smoke coming up from the floorboards, okay? If you want to work with me, that's great. Thomas at bookkeepingconroe.com. You can also find me on YouTube. I put some videos up on there, youtube.com at bookkeepingconroe. And until next time, I wish you the best, and I wish you the very best of luck in hiring a great bookkeeper. And hey, be the best, okay? Bye-bye.